Cycling can be hazardous to your health if you don't follow street regulations or if you don't pay attention to where you're going. But what if you meet a strange creature along the way? What do you do then? Like say for instance you meet a buffalo. That's right, you heard. If you want to see some wild cycling adventures, stick around as we count down 15 wild incidents caught on camera while cycling.
Here we go.
Number 15, giraffe. Is not the problem, but when giraffes are around, it usually means other types of scary animals are not too far away. Come to think of it, looking at this giraffe approach the cyclist, I think I would be crapping in my pants if that was me. If this is a large animal and it decides if it doesn't like you, you could be in trouble. Of course, it's not as scary as meeting a big cat or a hyena, but you still need to be careful, even though it looks like the giraffe just wants to get a whiff of the cyclist. It is really sniffing this guy, and this guy is still as a corpse. I would be too for that matter for the fear of becoming a real corpse. Meanwhile, his friend is filming him with a big smile on her face. How convenient when it's not you the giraffe is sniffing. The sniffing is over and the giraffe has no more interest in the cyclist and he can finally get back to breathing normally. Giraffes are peaceful animals, but when the cyclist walks around, the giraffe holding her bike, the giraffe must be wondering what she's doing and if it's some type of weapon. People have to use their brains, seriously. Number 14, goats and ram. Goats, rams, sheep, they're all nuts, and if they see something they can bang their heads onto, they will. The first goat rams into the cyclist for no apparent reason, and it's going at it hard, almost knocking the bike over. What are their heads made of? This cyclist has a camera on his back, and is cycling some dirt road in a mountain when two rams come from behind and smash into him. That's all we know, ladies and gentlemen. In our next clip, Rambo, an angry ram, smashes into this guy on a small motorbike and chases him for some fun. The camera is actually on the ram's back as you can see in this clip, so you can see it from this nutshop's perspective as well. Rambo runs fast and never stops ramming into people as long as they keep coming. No wonder they call it Rambo. Number 13, ostrich. Ostriches are powerful and extremely fast, so even if you're on your bike, don't think you can speed by an ostrich. These cyclists run a leisurely ride around Cape Point National Park, which is one of the most gorgeous parts of the Cape Peninsula. Suddenly, someone observed an unusual bird running with the peloton as they rolled through the hills, taking in all the splendor. Then, everyone soon realized it was an ostrich that was involved. Look at this big bird run. This next clip shows how insanely fast ostriches are. You can almost feel the speed the ostrich is running at for some reason. Wow, I'm really impressed. The cyclists are going over 30 kilometers per hour and this ostrich is catching up to them. Number 12, elephants. Meeting a giraffe on the road while you're cycling is intimidating as you saw in our first clip. But what about meeting an elephant? Watch this cyclist quickly back up and go the other way when she meets up with the elephants. The elephant doesn't seem aggressive, but it doesn't look like it wants the cyclist to go past it either. This next cyclist just stops his motorbike, parks it there, and runs for his life as this monstrous elephant slowly walks towards him. This next clip is scary. Watch this man laying on the ground with this massive elephant touching it with its trunk. Apparently, the elephant attacked the cyclist and seized the bike from him. The man became overcome with fear and didn't even try to run away, fearing the elephant would chase and squash him like a cockroach. According to eyewitnesses who filmed the incident, it was too dangerous to try and help the cyclist. From a distance, they yelled at the elephants. I'm sure that scared the pants out of the elephants. At some point, the elephant even lifts the cyclist's bike and lets it drop to the floor. It looked like the cyclist was next. The elephant lifts its leg as if it's going to stomp on the man. The cyclist finally gets up and runs the hell out of there, and the elephant steals the bike. If the bike was what the elephant wanted in the first place, then why didn't the elephant say so right away? In our next clip, this herd of elephants scares the living daylights out of this biker. Enough so he abandons his bike momentarily on the road. Finally, this elephant doesn't like the fact that there are two approaching it and begins to run towards them at full speed. The two men immediately leave the motorbike on the ground and run away. Number 11, falcon. No other bird has been able to equal the speed of a peregrine falcon in a hunting dive. When diving, the peregrine falcon is the fastest bird, and indeed the fastest animal on the planet. The peregrine falcon soars to high heights before diving deeply at speeds of over 200 miles per hour. Giraffe, a downhill mountain bike icon, is pursued by the world's fastest bird, a peregrine falcon. Set in the magnificent setting of Antur Stiniog, North Wales, G is put to the ultimate test in a man versus bird experiments. Is this guy nuts? You can even see the action from the falcon's point of view because it's also equipped with a camera. What is this cyclist trying to accomplish? It's obvious this is for some type of commercial. I guess everyone has something that makes them tick, and for this guy, it's being followed by a falcon at full speed with the risk of being attacked. Riding this bike on these bumpy roads full of rocks must be an experience one doesn't forget soon. Number 10. Bear. If you ever encounter a bear, you should identify yourself by speaking calmly so the bear understands you are not a prey animal. Maintain your composure, stand your ground while waving your arms steadily. Assist the bear in recognizing you as an individual. To get a better look or scent, it can move closer or stand on its hind legs. If that doesn't work, pull a moon and run for your life. Just kidding. In our first clip, this cyclist is going at full speed, and at one point you get a very quick glimpse of a big bear running behind him. Is this real or just some camera trick? Bears are very unpredictable, but my advice to you is to stay as far away from bears as you can. Watch this next bear cut through the forest chasing the cyclist as another cyclist is filming the action from behind. Doesn't the bear notice the cyclist who's riding towards him, and instead of chasing the other guy, all he needs to do is wait for this guy? The bear finally runs off the trail and back into the forest. It's actually some kind of documentary they're filming, and the bear was called back by its handler. I don't care how many handlers they have. I ain't riding my bike next to a huge bear like that at any time. Bears are often seen on roads close to forests, and this bear felt like it was time to take the cyclist's bike and go for a ride. But when a car drives by, the bear is scared off and runs away. Number 9. Snake. Many snakes try to flee first before biting, even when they are trodden on. When a snake is repeatedly exposed to bikes speeding by, it can become irritable and hostile. But most days, these snakes hide in the grass until the bikers have left for the day. When a snake is touched unexpectedly, it curls up a little. If you run over one while riding your bike, they could easily become entangled in spokes and carried along with the rotation of your wheel. They close the gap between your legs and are better positioned to bite as a result. However, meeting snakes while you're riding your bike can be a traumatizing experience for some to check out what's going on, and the kid tells him what happened. The sequence ends with the father walking towards the kid's bike, but we don't know if he really ends up taking care of things. This next moment is even scarier as the snake lunges at this biker, trying to bite it in midair, but misses its target. Thank God for the biker, although I don't know how venomous this snake could have been. Nonetheless, I don't want no snake getting close to me, no matter how venomous it is. Finally, watch the snake intentionally cut off these two people on a bike and get all tangled up in the spokes of the bike. The two young men just drop the bike and flee. Number 8. Moose. Moose are usually not hostile, although they can be very unpredictable. Females regard you as a big threat to their calves, and males are inclined to defend their area. When the long hairs on its hump are raised, its ears are laid back, much like a dog or cat, and it licks its lips. You know it's not happy. But to be honest, you're much too close. Do not be deceived if a moose sees you and approaches cautiously. It does not want to be petted. It could be looking for something to eat or warning you to stay away. Our first clip shows a moose charging straight for a cyclist who drops to the ground the second it sees the moose, which results in the moose turning around and abandoning the charge. That was a smart move and a quick reaction by the cyclist. In our next clip, this cyclist crosses what seems to be two young moose. The moose first pause, then walk next to the cyclist. Taking no chances, the cyclist gets off his bike and jumps over the traffic barriers. The moose stare at the man and one of them smells the bike. They figure the man is a nice person and they continue walk without hurting them. Finally, this next cyclist sneaks up on a moose walking on a road and scares it involuntarily, and the moose takes off into the forest. Number 7. Buffalo. Buffalo are known to attack humans by circling back on them before attacking, stomping, or goring them to death with their sharp horns. Buffalo are thought to murder around 200 people each year. If you ever come across a buffalo, keep cool and don't run. Hold your ground and slowly back away, doing everything you can to make yourself appear larger, such as facing the line and standing tall. In our first clip, these bikers encounter buffalo on their way to fish. They sort of panic, and it looks like the buffalo are a little angry. It scares the girl a little, but they manage to take her off anyway. Finally, this buffalo doesn't want this guy to leave with his motorbike. It continuously charges the bike as if it's preventing the guy to drive it off. What is it with these buffaloes and bikes? Number 6. Dogs. Stray dogs are a cyclist's worst nightmare and possibly the most annoying irritation on the road. On the other hand, all those dogs can be responsible for a bloodbath among riders. And why would they start barking like crazy and attack them? There isn't a single dog that can resist those spinning legs and wheels, which work like a red rag on a bull. Check out these two dogs harassing the cyclist. The cyclist is having a hard time getting through. They're not trying to bite him, but you never know what they can do and when you must get past them. It's not a whole lot of fun. In this next clip, the cyclist approaches the dog slowly because he can see it isn't on a leash. It sees him and lunges at him. He brakes hard and you can hear him skid. Then as he tries to get away, it lunges at him again. He does that because his next move is going to be get off his bike and put it between him and the dog. He didn't realize there was another biker behind him at the time because he was wearing earplugs. So maybe he didn't hear the woman, but the dog chases him down. In these cases, there's a good chance you'll crash your bike or get bitten by the dog, which is why I don't risk it till the owner has the dog. The worst part is it's a little dog. It's always those little smart-ass dogs that are the most annoying. In our next clip, a dog comes out of nowhere to chase the cyclist, but abandons just seconds afterwards. This man is a well-known rider in the neighborhood who has handled dogs before, but never so many that he was terrified for his life, and gives a piece of his mind to the owner. Number 5. Magpie. Magpies are cunning and territorial, swooping riders from up to 100 meters away from their nest. Male birds attack almost exclusively because they perceive people who ride or walk as a threat to their offspring. It's risky to venture around Straya in the spring because it's magpie swooping season. Now, throughout his riding experience, the cyclist in our first video has come across a few psychotic and violent magpies, but no magpie comes near to being as frantic and as persistent in assault as the now famous Chillingham Savage. The barrage of headshots and ear nips seem to never end. His helmet now has a few more ventilation holes, which is hilarious. So sit back, laugh, and enjoy the show as you watch the struggle unfold. And don't forget to acquire steel-reinforced helmets during spring season in Australia. This next clip shows this magpie assaulting the cyclist. What a peaceful country Australia is. You have animals that attack you from all angles. When it's not a snake, it's a bird. And if that's not enough, you have the Komodo dragon. This next lady is hilarious. I mean, the way she screams when the magpie comes looking for her is deserving of an Oscar. Just that scream alone should scare all the magpies in the vicinity away. I can't stop laughing. This next clip shows a boy on a scooter getting attacked by a magpie, and this little boy's reaction is understandable. He's young and has no clue what this bird will do to him. In the end, he was fine. One thing for sure, if you decide to go bike riding in Australia, you better wear helmets. These birds are nuts. Number 4. Deer and antelope. Deer and antelopes can be extremely dangerous if they crash into you while you're riding your bike, without missing a beat. Holy cow, did this antelope connect with that cyclist or what? This next guy on his motorbike is cruising on the road when a deer runs across the road and he smashes into it, causing the deer and himself to go flying. The bike was wrecked, but the biker and the deer survived. It's a lot of fun cycling through mountains and valleys and getting to see picturesque skies along the way. But there's always a risk of some deer popping out of the forest and onto the road, just like this one which collides with the cyclist, injuring him lightly. The collision forces all the cyclists to stop and take a break while the injured cyclist recuperates. Number 3. Emu. Emus can sprint at approximately 30 miles per hour, and if cornered, they kick with their large 3-toed feet. Emu assaults resulting in a variety of injuries are not uncommon in Australia, as well as wild animal parks, emu farms, and zoos around the world, with more than 100 occurring in 1 year alone. Our first clip shows this emu trying to be friendly with this lady cyclist. She's kind of intimidated, but we were told this emu is known in the area for being super friendly. Maybe she doesn't know this, and that's why she's all shy or scared out of her wits. I mean, that's one big bird. The cyclist doesn't blink an eye while the emu stares at her and looks at the bike, without ever being aggressive. This next rider comes across a horde of emus, and one charge is right at his back. He seems to avoid it, but it's not really clear in this footage. I don't know about you, but if I'm Australian, I don't ride my bike or motorbike in places like these, or anywhere for that matter. Number 2. Kangaroo. Kangaroo attacks are uncommon in Australia because kangaroos are normally gentle. However, if provoked or trapped, they can attack and kill dogs. They can attack even if they are not provoked on rare occasions. As if they were another kangaroo, a kangaroo will attack a human. It may use its forepaws to push or grapple, or it may sit back and kick out with its hind legs. Avoiding conflict with kangaroos is critical because of the potential for significant harm. These kangaroos in this first clip seem to be having a lot of fun pursuing the cyclist, and the cyclists don't seem to mind at all until this kangaroo pulls a karate kick in the face move and gets thrown across the road when it collides with the cyclist. The camera angle does not show what happened to the cyclist, but I'm guessing it must have fallen too. This next collision is insane. The kangaroo knocks out the cyclist with another Bruce Lee karate chop move, and the cyclist seems to be unconscious. We later found out she was okay, but needed several stitches to her knee. In our next clip, this kangaroo wants this man's bike. The man tells the kangaroo to take a hike, but the kangaroo is not responsive. By the looks of it, kangaroos are not very smart animals. The kangaroo decides to cross the road when there are a ton of cyclists riding by, so it just goes right through them instead of waiting for the road to clear up. Number 1. Camel. Camels are huge animals, and if they decide to charge a cyclist, it could mean big trouble. These camels are crossing a road right before these cyclists arrive, hence avoiding any collision. It must be rather impressive to see these massive animals crossing this street like they are someone's pet. Check out the number of camels hanging around the road in this video. It's like there's some sort of pilgrimage going on, or perhaps a race of some sort. These cyclists are standing around, maybe looking at the camels and the scenery. This camel knocks out this biker accidentally when the handler makes the camel turn around. He probably had to notice the cyclist right behind him. I guess these things can happen when you take your bike for a ride in countries that have camels roaming the streets and sidewalks like they are pet dogs. Finally, check out how fast these camels are running, keeping pace with these two cyclists. That's pretty amazing stuff. Just love watching these long strides. We've seen all sorts of animals create havoc for cyclists, but my favorite one has to be the kangaroos knocking out some of the cyclists. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's our countdown of 15 animal incidents caught on camera while cycling. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.